This is the Haulin Assets podcast, where we show you how to start and run your own trucking company. Ever wanted to go out on your own? Follow Chris as he goes through the highs and lows of running on his own authority.
Welcome, everybody. Welcome to the Haulin Assets podcast. This is episode number, 90?
90, yeah.
I'm Craig. He is Chris. Welcome, Chris.
Good to be here.
So for episode 90, this is a financials episode. I know that people look forward to these every month to hear how the company's doing. I look forward to them to hear how the company's doing. So this is always an exciting episode. But today, we've kind of gotten away from our format a little bit, Chris. Today, we're getting back to it. We've got stuff to talk about kind of up front, and we'll get there. We've got numbers, and we've even got an impact tip at the end of the episode.
All of it.
So, yeah, we're going to be going through all this stuff.
All the goodies in one.
But before we get to any of it, of course, I need to remind people to go to haulinassetsllc.com to check out full show notes, including the numbers that we talk about today. You can see all of those numbers there. We leave nothing to the imagination, Chris. The Haulin Assets pants are tight, so to speak, and people can see the numbers right on the website. So that was a bad joke, but it's over now. So okay. So yeah, do that. Find us on Facebook, leave reviews, all that good stuff. Now, Chris, what's going on this week? I know this is one of those rare times when I know exactly what you're going to say. What's going on this week?
I'm kind of excited because this is a big step for the podcast, I feel like. And it's something that we've had a lot of listeners and people kind of clamoring for. So we've listened.
We listen to our listeners?
We have listened to our listeners, and we have merch.
What is that on your body, Chris?
I've got a t-shirt, a Haulin Assets t-shirt.
So for those listening to the podcast, that's fine. Please, pay attention to the road. Don't turn on the YouTube video, but maybe later you can check out the YouTube video. You can see Chris's shirt. You can even watch this. Okay. Oh, there's it's on the other side. There you go. I've got my own. So, Chris, you are wearing the heather blue navy.
Kind of blue. Yeah, it's a bluish. And you've got a black one. But the cool thing, and I'm not going to stand up and turn around and show it, but the back is where it's at. And we've got two different versions of the back. And Chet and I, my brother, we've got a little bit of a bet on which back is going to be more popular, because they have essentially the same image, but there's a little bit different wording.
The catchphrase is a little different.
Okay. So I'm not going to say which one I like and which one he likes, because we need this to be unbiased, but we want to see which one is going to sell better.
Okay, so there's two different designs. Which one am I wearing?
You're wearing the one that says drive like a trucker, think like an owner.
Okay, so I've got the straightforward, the good advice one. And yeah. What are you wearing?
I'm wearing the.
Wait. Let me back up and ask that again. Hey, Chris, what are you wearing?
You're creeping me out, Craig. I might not be able to say that. I'm speechless. I can't talk.
Okay, what's on the back of your shirt?
Mine says Haulin Assets, making ship happen. Did I enunciate my P well enough?
Chris, you showed me that earlier, and the first words out of my mouth were, you couldn't resist. Couldn't resist, could you? So, yeah. Anyway, so yeah, merch. Any other merch coming down the pike?
We might at some point. We'll kind of see how well these sell, but go on to into the show notes. I'm going to have the link of where you can go buy them. They're $25 each, and that includes the shipping. And so buy the one you like the most, and Chet and I are going to be able to see who was right and who was wrong.
Oh, man, I'm so excited.
Yeah, me too.
All right. So, yeah, do you want to be serious, or do you want to have two awful puns on your shirt? That's the question. Okay. So, anything else on the merch announcement?
That's probably it.
Okay. All right.
As far as merch goes.
Should we go to some numbers then?
Before we get into that, I've got a couple other things that I want to talk about. First, I learned a lesson when I was doing the show notes for this show. You don't leave your computer unlocked with a teenager around.
Okay, so either the teenager did something to your computer or looked up something he wasn't supposed to.
So the teenager went and wrote a nice little message in the show notes. So really? I'm going to leave it. Yeah, my son decided he'd be all cute and typed a little message at the bottom of the show notes while I wasn't watching. But I'm going to leave it in there. So Tate, you're a published author on a legitimate website.
Oh, that's fantastic.
Congratulations.
I got to look it up now.
You dork. He gets that from his mother.
Yeah, well, or he's been listening to me too much on the show. I don't know. That's possible too. All right. So, anything else before numbers, Chris?
Yeah, I've got another thing.
Jiminy Christmas.
Look at this. We're chock full of stuff today.
Okay.
I just wanted to give everybody kind of an update on truck number 5. And this is this is just the epitome of what's happening these days.
Okay. You mean to every company,
to everybody, everywhere, and not just in the trucking industry and everything. So we've been told for months that we were going to get truck number 5 around the middle of November, and about a week before we were supposed to get it, maybe 2 weeks before we were supposed to get it, we got the word that it's going to be delayed 14 to 60 days.
Whoa.
So not just like
14. That's a heck of a window.
That's a very big,
Okay.
Yeah, that is a very big window, which is what really kind of surprises me. And it's one of those things, and we've heard and seen this before. They say the truck's built, it's ready to go, but it's missing a chip.
It's missing missing a microchip.
Missing a microchip.
Ugh.
And so
the same reason I can't get my PS5 is the reason you can't get your truck.
It's the same reason.
And you know what? And they both hurt equally.
Do they? Is that
yeah.
sure? Yeah, your PS5 is equally as painful as my
obviously
$170,000 truck.
How is this not clear, Chris? I don't understand.
Yeah, well, whatever.
What are you not getting?
I don't know what kind of world or universe you live in.
You know what? You may be the trucking expert here, but
you're the gaming expert.
That's correct. All right.
I'll give you the professional geek.
The moniker.
Yeah, you've got it.
Okay. All right. I'll take the title and run with it. Anybody who watches us on YouTube and can see how many dorky books I have behind me, they understand. Yeah. They get it already. Yeah. Okay. Chris, I want to talk about numbers.
Okay, but before we get into that.
Oh my good heavens, Chris, what is going on?
I just want to give a little teaser for what we're going to talk about at the end. Can I do that?
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, we're going to talk a little.
I want everybody to know, especially those watching on YouTube. I do have a rough outline of what we're going to talk about.
And you're not following it.
I'm sitting here looking at the outline going like, wait a minute. We didn't, this isn't in the outline.
It's all in the outline.
Okay, that's true.
Yeah, well.
I don't read good.
You don't speak well either. All right, so at the very end, we're going to talk, teaser. We've had some very good months.
Yeah, true.
Including this month. And so you may be asking, well, what are you doing with all that cash? We're going to talk a little bit about that at the end.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Ooh, okay. Ladies and gentlemen, I don't know what it's going to be, but I assume that I am going to be a major beneficiary of what we're talking about today.
Keep dreaming.
All right, so that's what we'll talk about afterwards. Now let's talk about whether this was another good month. We've had a couple of good months in a row after I want to say it was a rough month back in, was it August or July?
I think it was July.
July was slightly rough, but kind of not too terribly bad. And then 2 great months in a row. How was October?
October was good. Another really good month. Not quite as good, but overall pretty good.
Okay. Overall pretty good. What does that mean? Miles run on 4 trucks. Were all of them on the road the whole month? Awesome. Yep. So how many miles?
43,903.
43,000. Okay, so a little less than last month.
About 2,500 miles less than last month.
Okay. And Deadhead, how did Deadhead do?
Deadhead was 2,591 miles, which is 5.9%.
Okay, so again, a little higher than last month, but not too bad.
Nope.
Okay, cool. So total revenue off of those 43,000 miles, what do we end up at?
$121,014.
121,000. Okay,
yeah, so about 6,000 less than last month.
So again, less, but not catastrophic.
Still in the same realm. Less than 10% swings on about everything.
So that gives us an all-in, the rate per mile of what?
$2.76, which is 2 cents better than last month.
Hey, that's not bad.
There you go.
So, okay.
So we did improve in one metric.
Is the rate per mile, do you think, going to continue improving with the holiday season picking up?
Yeah, and I can tell you we're already a good chunk of the way through November.
Mm-hmm.
And November, I haven't run any numbers, but my gut's telling me it's going to be,
Do you think you'll break $3 a mile?
there's a very good possibility.
Yeah. Wow. That'd be cool.
I'd be shocked if it's not at least a decent chunk better than what it was last month.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So $276 per mile. Not bad.
No.
Okay. So the revenue was, you said, $121K. What does that do for profit then?
So our total profit was $36,749.68.
So again, a pretty good month. Again, a little lower than last month.
About $2,000 lower than last month.
Okay, so that tracks. So does anything with those numbers? Okay, we know that October was a good month, and we kind of people who have been listening to these financials episodes kind of understand why at this point. The freight market is good. There aren't enough trucks on the road. There aren't enough drivers out there. There's a lot of demand for too few trucks out on the road, which it does a lot of things. I mean, unfortunately, inflation is all the buzzword right now in the national conversation, but it does also drive up, it inflates the rates, right, that you're getting. So that's nice. But if we get past those initial numbers, is there anything else from the P&L that you want to pull out? Anything significant from that?
There's a couple things I'd like to talk about. Although with that being said, if you look at the P&L as a whole, there's not really a whole lot of anything that really causes concern or anything like that. It's
kind
a
of
pretty
normal
typical
stuff.
Yeah. One of the things that I'm starting to kind of keep my eye on a little bit is fuel prices. Fuel prices have kind of steadily been going up for a year or so now. And there was what I would say is probably a little bit bigger spike than normal if you look at it month to month. But with that being said, we are going into, this is October, so temperatures are starting to get colder. And I'm assuming that we're starting to see some of the winter increase, which is pretty normal. And diesel fuel almost always increases in the winter. And the reason, there's two reasons behind that. One, they have to add an additive to it so it doesn't gel.
Right.
And then two, a lot of people don't know this about fuel, but when you look, you hear, obviously it's a barrel of oil that creates fuel, right? Mm-hmm. Well, you can't just say, hey, I'm going to use this barrel of oil and I'm going to just make just gasoline out of it.
Right.
Or I'm going to use this barrel of oil and I'm going to get just diesel fuel out of it.
Gets refined for all
it gets
sorts
refined.
of stuff.
Yeah. So it's always a certain percentage of it has to be refined into gasoline. A certain percentage of it has to be refined into like diesel fuel, or you've got, JP8, airline fuel, kerosene. Mm-hmm. Like those are all kind of come from that same category.
Not to mention all the plastics that we depend
on. The plastics,
on.
Yep. So the point is that because of every barrel of oil, only so much of it can be used for, those diesel / kerosene products. It's not like you can say, hey, I want to use what I normally just produce gasoline. I'd use the kerosene products. You can't do that. And so there's always a higher demand for that one part that is what diesel comes out of, because especially in the East, a lot of homes are heated with that same kind of kerosene based fuel, which is what competes against diesel fuel. And so it just automatically wintertime
drives
the price up.
Thanks, East Coast.
Yeah, it's East Coast guys. Gee.
Yeah, okay. Us Utah people have nothing to do with this, okay?
No. So just keep that in mind. I think there's a good chance fuel's just going to keep going up and up, unfortunately.
Yeah.
You never know, but be prepared for it. Think about it.
And, okay, so fuel costs are going up. You've got truck number 5 coming out. You said there's time considerations now where you don't know when you're going to get truck number 5, but anything else going on with that as far as driving numbers? We've
already, we've added a few costs because of truck number 5. Like we ordered the ELD, we ordered the pre-pass. There's a handful of things that we ordered so that we'd have them when the truck came. And if the truck comes in November, if it actually ends up coming sometime this month, we may see some more. Whenever we actually get the truck, you're probably going to see obviously some more costs associated with that.
Let me ask you a stupid guy question for all of the people out there who this might help out. Just the logistics of getting the truck. Do you already know the truck you're getting? And can you or have you pre-insured that truck so that it's ready to go? Or do you have to have the truck in hand? The deed is in your hand to get that insurance going?
The only thing you really need to get the insurance ball rolling is the VIN number. And most of the times you can get the VIN number pretty far in advance. I don't know, to be honest with you. Nate's kind of tracking that. I couldn't tell you off the top of my head if we actually have the VIN number for that truck. There's a pretty good chance we probably do. But with that being said, we've already got an insurance policy, and we're just adding another vehicle to an existing policy.
Right. That makes it a little different.
Yeah. I mean, it's pretty much just saying, hey, we're adding truck. This is the VIN. This is year, make, and model.
Yeah.
Value, and they can add it.
Right. That makes sense. Okay.
So it's pretty easy.
Anything else from the profit and loss you want to pull out and talk about?
There's one thing that really, as I was reading through the profit and loss, kind of caught my eye, and it's really, as far as costs go, insignificant. It was only $2,200, and it was training.
That was 200, not 2,200.
Yeah, no, 200.
Okay.
200. Like, a handful of Big Macs, right?
Or how many peanut M&Ms does that translate to?
Yeah, it's a pretty good number of peanut M&Ms. But anyway, so this $200 spent on training just kind of got me thinking about a culture that you create within your company. And one of the things I think is important to us is we sent Nate to some compliance training. It was put on by the Utah Trucking Association, and it's something that we wanted. You do, a good company's going to do all the time. You want, whether it's owners or employees of the company, you want them constantly learning, constantly getting better, constantly improving. And so you need to invest a little bit of time and money into that kind of thing. It doesn't have to be, super significant, but, it's important to understand the regulations. I mean, whether we like them or not, they're here, and we have to abide by them. And, at Motor Carrier HQ, we deal with way too much. I mean, we've got a whole department that just deals with guys that have gotten in trouble with the DOT and helping them out of it. So just don't even get to that point.
Right.
If you're paying attention to that kind of thing, it's pretty, I wouldn't say easy, but you should be able to stay out of it. There's no reason you can't stay out of trouble, and you can't do that. But it takes some effort to do that. And it's important to do that, to train, to learn. And whether it's compliance or whether it's, understanding financials or something, there's a lot of different things you can do to kind of keep yourself relevant and learning constantly in the business. And
this is actually because I know what the impact tip is ahead of time. I know that this actually kind of ties in really well with the impact tip. We're going to get there. But my point before we do it is that, like you said, these are valuable things, especially over the long run, right? It might, especially, after the company gets going, you've got a few trucks in there, you've got more people than just you and a driver, there's a whole team helping you out with this. And because of that, there will be little things that pop up. Hey, we need to do that. We need to send them to this training, or, I don't know what other things might pop up, but ongoing education might be a big thing. And the way that you're able to do that is with the impact tip, Chris.
Okay, bring it in. I want to hear how you're
want me to do it?
Yeah, you lead into this. You're doing a great job.
This is your segment, man. Okay, I'll steal your segment. Create a savings plan. That's our impact tip for today. In one sentence, it's create a savings plan. Now, Chris, we've talked about savings a lot on this show, but a lot of it, I not entirely, but the majority of it has been do it. Save your money. Don't be a fool, that sort of thing. But a savings plan is a little different. It's a little more specific type of thing that you're talking about. So walk me through it.
So if you've been listening for a long time, you've heard, obviously, like you're saying, just the generalities of saving, kind of do it. And at the very beginning, I talked about kind of how I was going to save money, but it was complicated. I was going to save a certain amount for the insurance payment down payment every month. A certain amount would go to maintenance, depending on how much I actually spent on maintenance, and and repairs, and just it was kind of a complicated formula to figure out how much I've saved. So what I've decided to do, and what Nate and I have decided to do, is to kind of really simplify that plan.
Okay, so how so? What does that mean to simplify it?
Our savings plan is going to be based on two different things. First, we want to have $15,000 per truck kind of in our operating account. So basically our checking account.
Yeah.
And that's like $15,000 per truck, kind of at the low point of normal operations.
Okay.
So in this situation where we've got 4 trucks running right now, that's $60,000. So at the low point of the month, we want to have roughly $60,000 in our checking account. So that means it's probably, through the course of a month going to fluctuate, between 30 or 60 and $90,000 because, we may, you may have a week where you don't get a whole lot of payments coming in, but you've got a ton of expenses going out. And so, it may dip, and another week you may have a whole lot of, your payments coming in that people owe you and not a whole lot of expenses going out. So it might shoot up for a little while. So it's always going to fluctuate a little bit about that. But the point is that our plan is to keep it at that kind of that $60,000 is the bottom of that fluctuation.
So this is the operating savings, right?
Well, I wouldn't even call it savings. This is our operating account, but the slush fund,
there you go.
The extra that we've got so that's part one of really this kind of 2-part plan. So that's in our checking account at any given time, at least
ready to use.
In case an engine blows or in case something else crazy happens and we've got a big expense that we've.
And so what's the second part of this then?
So the second part is going to be based on our debt. And so, when you buy a brand new truck and trailer, like the last 3 that we've purchased have been all brand new, they're coming in at $230,000 for a truck and a trailer. And that price is going to go up next year. I mean, it's already starting to go up. And it's going to go up maybe possibly crazy next year. But our plan is to have at least 10% in a savings, like a true savings account that we're really not going to touch. So 10% of our debt in a savings account.
Okay.
And right now when we add this 5th truck, we're going to be right around $750,000 in debt. And so that means $75,000 in that savings account.
Okay. So is the company there yet? Or is that something that you're implementing this savings plan and you're going to be building it over time? Or do you want to have that, like if a new truck is costing $230,000, so it's $230,000, do you want to have $23,000 set aside before you ever buy the truck? Or is this something you're going to try to build?
I'd say that's something every time we add a truck, we'll probably build into it. So like I wouldn't add the next truck until we've got at least that we've checked both of those boxes on that 2-part plan for our existing number of trucks.
Okay.
And then when we add another truck, we won't pull any money out of the business. We haven't pulled any money out of the business anyway, other than, kind of a little bit of salary for Nate and I.
Right.
And we aren't going to pull any extra money above and beyond that until we've hit that metric for all of our running trucks.
Okay. Yeah, that makes sense. So what I'm hearing then is you want $15,000 in slush fund, readily available checking account funds per truck, ready to go at any time. And then in the savings account, 10% of the company's debt as a total. So pretty simple, right?
It is. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Really simple. That's easy to calculate.
There you go. Is that the note that I'm seeing to keep it simple, stupid?
Yes. Did I forgot I put that in there.
Oh, is that yours? I was wondering if that's what your son typed.
No, that's me. The son one, you'll know it when you see it.
Okay.
It's nothing super special, but keep it simple, stupid. I like that mantra. Yeah. It's a good one. And that's with the savings. I've decided that I don't really like the plan that I initially talked about. I mean, it's still any plan that helps you save money is a good plan, but I like this one better because it's really simple. And I think it'll protect you in just about any circumstance, as long as, if say the economy took a big dump like it did when COVID first hit,
sure,
you've got to be on top of making changes and adapting quickly when things like that happen, or you can eat into that savings pretty quickly.
Right. And I mean, you never know. So how did you arrive, before we finish this up, I did wonder, how did you arrive at the 10% number? Why 10% of the debt? How does that help you in the case that the economy takes a dump, as you say, or whatever?
Nate actually came up with that number. It was his idea, and I really liked it. And what it really does is that'll protect us from, if there's a year where things dry up and rates aren't as good, we've got some money that we can help keep making our truck and trailer payments, that kind of, cover those fixed expenses, even if our profit margins take a big hit.
Right.
And it's not uncommon. It's not totally out of the realm of possibilities that you could essentially lose money for a year.
Right.
If the economy gets really bad. And we think under most circumstances that 10% of our debt would help cover, a downturn in the economy, as long as, we'd have to tighten our belt in a few other areas and do some other things and make sure, we're being really careful. But between, making some of those adjustments and having that extra money, we'd be in a good position.
Right.
And that's really, in all honesty, like for a business, the guys that can do that and can and have prepared to weather the storm and can weather the storm typically come out of a downturn because it's killed a lot of other people who weren't smart about it.
Right.
And the guys that can come out of it typically come out stronger, better, and more profitable and end up being able to make even more money.
Sounds awesome to me.
Yeah.
So, excellent impact tip. Anything else that we've talked about today that you want to add to, or any parting notes before we call it for today?
I think I'm out.
Okay. Well, okay. We've exhausted Chris. Ladies and gentlemen, Chris is speechless.
I'm tired.
And I think my work here is done. So anyway, everybody, thank you so much for listening. Okay. I've got a few things to remind
Support
people
us.
of.
Go buy a t-shirt.
Chris.
I stole it from you. You stole the impact tip. I got to say
that's true. Okay. So go to HaulinAssetsLLC.com for full show notes, including the link to buy merch. Right now, the merch is very simple. Keep it simple, right, Chris?
It is simple.
There's a couple t-shirts, and I don't look. Usually I tell people, go leave a comment on Facebook, leave a comment at HaulinAssetsLLC.com. No, I want you to vote with your wallet.
There you go.
I want you to tell us which t-shirt is best by buying one. So go check it out. I'm sure this is going to be a major line item on next month's financials. We'll talk about t-shirt sales.
Yeah, probably not, but every little bit helps.
That's right.
And we appreciate the support, and we'd love to see our t-shirts being worn by people around the country. That would be cool.
If you buy a t-shirt, you get a t-shirt. Send us a picture.
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe we should work out, Chris, we haven't talked about this, but we should work out like a discount code of some kind. You buy a t-shirt, snap a picture, show it to us on social, and we'll send you like a 10% off coupon for the next one or something. I don't know.
Yeah, I'm sure we could do something. That's a great idea.
Yeah. Anyway, so go order those t-shirts, go check out the full show notes, and join us next month as we tackle the next subject. I don't know what that's going to be, but it's going to be amazing, Chris. So, hope people are there. Thanks for coming by, and I'll see you next time.
See you then.